been a resident of Boise, Idaho for over 800 years. I just don't get why this always happens to me every single time.
Oh, come on, guys. You get it. You get it, right?
Hello, 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 and welcome. Clearing that frog out of my throat. There we go. To the TRC Podcast here at the Rag Company YouTube channel. I'm your host, Dane, and to my right, got a Levi Gates.
Hello, hello, hello.
To my left, an Anthony Fisher.
Hey, Dane. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Of course.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, it is Tuesday.
Feeling good.
And I'm going to start the show right off the bat saying something that should be obvious to anybody who's paying attention right now, but just in case, Q&A Thursday will not be taking place on a Thursday this week.
Oh.
It's actually, surprise, surprise, going to happen tomorrow.
What?
So, same time.
Same time?
Same everything we normally do. The
right.
only part that's different is the day. So, mark your calendars, mark a little reminder in your phone,
Insane.
whatever you got to do. Tell Siri, however you do
Shaking
it.
things up. Just for this week.
Show up tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Time for your Q&A goodness. Your detailing questions, car-related questions, that's where we do it.
There you go.
That's it. I'm just throwing that on the podcast channel here, and it'll
Okay.
be just like normal.
Awesome,
so
Dane.
anyway, apart from that, housekeeping. We've got a sale going on. We got lots of stuff happening.
We do. We have a very big sale. Some arguably say this is our largest sale of the year.
It is, yes.
Pretty much the biggest, baddest, best sale. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, going on now. 20% off almost everything in the store, which is our best discount, and doorbusters.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
If we could pop onto the website there, not only that, but we've got a special edition Black Friday t-shirt available right now for purchase.
It's not yet.
The t-shirt is.
Oh, it
T-shirt
is.
came
Okay,
out on
okay,
Monday.
Yes, correct.
So that's
you're
for
right.
sale.
Anthony's being too careful.
Anthony
Correct.
didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so he's still waking up. So the Blackout Detail Department t-shirt is available on the website. You can pick it up today. It is a 60/40 ring-spun cotton.
Good looking shirt.
Soft, supple, very nice. We've got that, and then we've got a number of amazing doorbusters happening. And probably the biggest news, the new IK 360 TR full size and the IK Multi 360, Multi Pro 2 360 available on the site, along with the Multi 12. Pro 12 on
There
there.
we go. We got the
All
12
three of them are on
plus.
there. Yeah, the 12 plus. So the 360s, we are currently the only stockist in North America to have these. Meaning
That's it?
We're
Just us?
we're the only people that have it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you've been wanting to pick up one, you can pick one up and 20% off. Or you can pick up, and if they scroll back up to the doorbusters there, you've got the original TR1, a multi-pro at 40% off. So for those of you that have been sitting on the fence, that is a killer deal to pick up those TR1s and the HC TR1s. Now, some people go, what's the difference between the TR1, the multi, and the HC? It's mostly the level of liquids you can put in it, but the HC will accommodate everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Designed for
you
hydrocarbons.
can put water in one, you can put water in the other.
You can put water in either one. You can put a detailing product in either one, but the HC stands for hydrocarbons, meaning it can handle up to solvents and other high pHs.
It can handle some strong stuff.
So yeah, if you've always been buying just the IK multis, but you weren't sure about buying the HCs, you can buy the HCs and use them. I have one in my garage that I use for glass cleaner.
Now, before we move on from here, there was one thing I wanted to clarify for some people, because I've gotten some DMs from people who are like,
okay.
"Oh, I saw you had the 360s, but I'm not sure." They got a little confused. They saw the doorbuster for the TR1s here, and then they saw the TR1 360s. And I wanted to make it clear to people how
They're
you can tell
different units.
which page you're on when you're looking, because you might forget. You might get up, go do something else, and come back to your screen and go, "Which one is this?" Easiest way to tell, if you just click here on the TR1 that's on the doorbuster here, please, And so open that up. You can see in the title under IK Sprayers, IK Multi. Oh, this is a Pro 2. Sorry,
Yeah.
go back. I was referring specifically to the TR1s in particular.
The spray bottle.
Yeah, if you just scroll down to the spray bottle, the little spray guy, should be the one there on the left. Yes. Okay, so this one you can see it says 40% off right there in the title. Obviously, the price is different, and you see 360 nowhere in that title. So now if we go back and we scroll down to the new listing, and we go to the 360 there, all the way down until we get to the TR1 on the right, the 360. When you click on that one, you're going to get to the title, and you'll see it says 360 right there in the title.
There you go.
So
And
that way you're not confused.
Yep.
Just making sure that everybody's on the same page, and you're getting exactly what you want. So that's it. Okay, moving along.
Cool deal.
Good thing to remember. But yeah, tons of doorbusters, lots of items, 20% off, and limited edition sticker with the snake,
Yes.
which is pretty rad.
And some people are like, what's a snake got to do with the detailing? And I'm like, I don't care.
Nothing.
I think it looks cool.
That's all that matters. So we've got those guys going, and it's ready to rock and roll. So get
Yes.
those orders in, and again, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter,
As always.
ragcompany.com. Sign up for the details, because you never know what might get dropped that you might miss out on, like this shirt. So make sure you guys sign up for that so you never miss another beat.
There's some cool stuff that comes out, and it's only on certain days. So
That's right.
You got to pay
You got to have
attention.
the email blast to know about it. All right,
Laser
Anthony,
lock on
what's
it.
going on? What do you got going? What's happening? What's anything else? to add?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there, Levi. I mean, it's Black Friday sale running all the way until next Monday evening. It's going to be shutting off then, and there's going to be. I don't want to spill the bowl of Portuguese beans here.
That's why I said they need to be signed up.
I don't want to spill the whole bowl
Gotta
because
make
there's
sure you're signed
delicious
up.
linguiça in there, and linguiça's very expensive. But Friday there will be something happening. Monday there will be something happening. But don't let that distract you from the fact that Hector is going to be running 3 2000 Honda Civics
yeah.
with spoon engines in them.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So what are you going to do? You're going to check every car?
Yeah.
Go around to all the shops and check
I'm
the
gonna
engines?
Go around to every garage and check the engine. Yeah, of course. But so what I'm trying to say is that don't let that stop you from ordering now.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there might be some things that are available now that won't be available maybe later in the week, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to miss out.
It's true.
But for people that are looking to maybe expand their sprayer collection, the 360s now being available, amazing. I think they're going to be a top seller for sure. But you got 40% off the standard, the previous generation of TR1. I mean, that's a freaking good deal, dude. I mean,
Everybody loves the TR1s, whether the 360 or the original.
it's an incredible
There's a
incredible
bajillion
deal
uses for it.
those original tier ones, whether you get the HC or you're getting the multi, the tier one multi. But pick them up. So ragcompany.com, check it out. Other things this week, we did give away a box of Rip and Rag microfiber towels yesterday on Instagram, which is pretty cool. Hilarious though. You guys want to know something funny?
What?
Message the dude.
Yeah.
Because we drew it live on a story post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there. So was Dane.
Messaged
You
the
were there
guy,
too.
said, "Hey man, congrats! You're the winner
I
of
pushed the
this
button.
box of Rip and Rags."
Yeah.
Right? He hasn't seen the message yet.
Oh, no.
It's been like more than 24 hours, and he hasn't seen it. I mean, he obviously is an active person. He's a real person. He lives down. Looks like he lives down in Georgia. But I'm like, dude, this is a big deal.
Do we need to set up like a rule? Like if by 48 hours they haven't claimed it, you just pick a new person?
We can do that. We can literally say that on
Because
the next
we don't
giveaway.
have that in writing, and I understand somebody could get all about it, but it's like we're doing everything we can with what we have to be able to notify you. And
Yeah.
if you don't respond, at a certain point, it's just good manners to pick somebody who will use it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But that's pretty much it. I am feeling very wheezy today. I'm going
You
on
are. I can hear you.
7 weeks.
That's nuts.
7 weeks of not feeling great.
Not 100%.
Not 100%. Like last night I got into this weird, massive coughing fit, and I couldn't cough anything. It was like an unproductive cough, but it was happening a lot.
Yeah.
To where you'd say it's like a reaction. Like you go to breathe, and you feel like something catch and you start coughing.
Yeah, it's like that little scratch or that little tickle,
So,
and it's the worst.
I've been dealing with that, and it kicked in last night. I think I woke up like 5 o'clock this morning, just literally couldn't sleep anymore. I was like, I'm tired of coughing. I've been coughing all night, and I don't know what it is, but I was telling the guys here, I go, if this was the 1700s, this would have been considered the plague. People were dying from what I have now.
Well, we would have just put you out into the street anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, probably. I kind of
would have told you to
dead.
It may have been better off because then
Dane and I would have been
potentially-
doing our podcast, and we would have just asked that you go sit outside.
Yeah.
While we.
Well, I'm not far behind because I keep clearing my throat like crazy. 'cause
We'd be
it's just-
broadcasting off of our wood microphones.
You would.
Yeah, wood
When you'd be throwing your trash at me in the street too.
Well, that's where you go. Like, obviously, you're not long for this world.
Yeah.
So it's just we're just trying to make that transition easier on you.
I'm
Gotcha.
not
by
dead
just
yet.
putting you outside.
So, anyways, I'm feeling a little wheezy right now. I don't really like it, but I mean, it kind of is what it is. But
Yeah.
outside of that, though, Black Friday, swag, stickers, things going on here at the Rag Company to prepare for
Doorbusters.
more new products, more new things coming out here within the next month. We have the Christmas stuff that's already starting to get planned right now as we speak. And needless to say, it's just a busy time. Also, another big shout out to the Grandbassadors. Also, our Grandbassador finalists for just continuing to kill it. You guys are doing amazing. All of the posts, the stories, the videos. I mean, we got really lucky with this. Well, not really lucky. I mean, obviously we've honed in on these people.
superstars. Of
These are the
course they're
superstars,
good.
but they are just doing such a good job, and I love seeing all of the progress and all the posts and all that, and keep it up. So, anyways, as I wheeze here, Dane, let's jump into some weekends. What did your weekend look like?
Well, I mean, my weekend was it was interesting for me because for the first time in quite a while, Liz actually went off to go see a concert in Denver. So she was actually out and about. It was a K-pop concert. So it's one of those things where you get them where you can find them.
Yeah.
And Denver was the place.
I don't know what that means.
Well, all I'm saying is there's not
Get
a lot
them
of
where you can find
there's not
them.
a lot of K-pop concerts coming to Boise, so she had to go to where the concert was. So it was a situation like that. But what that meant was
Did she drive? Fly?
she drove. She met up with family in Salt Lake City and then drove the rest of the way after.
Yeah,
that.
a little road trip action.
Yeah, made a little road trip, and then she's kind of taking her time coming back too. So
Nice.
little bit of a
so
journey.
what does I mean, I'm sure you probably asked her, what does one wear to a K-pop concert generally?
I have no idea.
So
'Cause,
just curious.
I don't know. So
You've never been to a K-pop concert then?
do I look like I've been to a K-pop
I don't know,
concert?
Dane. I don't.
That's what we're asking.
Sometimes you do things that surprise us all.
I
You
mean,
like a
sure,
lot of variety
but
of music.
Yeah, no,
So
I don't
is
have
it-
that one under my belt. So.
Because what do you know? What I guess the reason why I'm asking because do you want to know what I envision? I envision most people dressing up like.
You're picturing people dressed like they're in the Hunger Games or something.
No, I feel like they're dressing up like they're in like Sailor Moon.
Okay, that's just a little bit.
Isn't that
a little more
strange?
anime? Like it's like almost like a.
Is it?
con-
It's,
like
it's
an
not.
anime
It's not an
convention.
anime thing.
No,
It's
if anything,
K-pop.
it's gonna be like slightly over the top, very stylish. I'm almost thinking like if everybody in the audience kind of dressed like a modern interpretation of how people dress in the movie Clueless, that kind of thing.
Gotcha, okay.
Like a little bit of that.
But
that
the Barbie
feels like it'd
movie?
be more the vibe, and a little bit of Barbie vibe.
Little bit of
Like
Barbie.
it'd be kind of that kind of thing. I could see that being more of the the
Aesthetic.
look.
Yeah.
Aesthetic.
How many peace signs do you think have been getting thrown around at a K-pop concert?
Probably a whole lot for all those fan photos and stuff. For reference, the name of the group was Purple Kiss. So whatever,
Purple
it was
Kiss.
Purple Kiss. That's all I know.
Kiss of the Purple, right?
Well, that sounds a little strange now, doesn't
Gotcha.
it?
It does. So, anyways, Liz went off on her escapade to this.
Joey.
Anthony learned cultures of the podcast.
Oh god.
The reason why I prompt these questions is to get a better understanding, but also to be able to provide maybe some education to some our audience as well, right?
100%.
Oh, that's fair.
Because I imagine people like Kirby Thompson, right?
Right.
Probably not familiar with K-pop.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right?
That's fair.
He
For
could
those
be,
who
but I don't think
don't
he
know
is.
what K-pop is, it is literally think like pop music in the U.S. except it's Korean, South Korean. That's the difference. Just like there's like J-rock and J-pop and stuff, that's Japanese version of that. K is for the South Korean version. So
Gotcha.
there you go.
Nice.
It's just it makes you wonder, right?
Does it?
So it makes you wonder, right? Not to bring up North Korea in this, but do they have their same type of music? It'd be like in K-pop,
I don't know.
North Korean pop,
See,
right?
I knew you were going to do something like that, but I just have a feeling it's not the same.
I don't know if it's exactly the same. I don't know, but maybe
Not the
I
same.
could be wrong, right? But regardless, I would love to see Dane
Oh boy.
go to a K-pop concert the next time they come here to Boise, or somebody comes here to Boise, as I think that would be pretty amazing.
I mean, I don't doubt it'd be fun.
Dane,
It looks
Dane
like
will be
a lot of
our
fun.
man in the sky. He can go and take some pictures, document it, create a report, bring it back to the show, and we'll be able to all learn.
Although I will say, stan culture alive and well. You know, when it comes to K-pop stuff, like you think Taylor Swift fans are like intense.
They are intense.
That's the nicest word I can apply to that.
They stay intense.
I picture though. that-
K-pop fans are pretty much like that too, but they can get real nutso about like, oh, this group versus that group. It's all so manufactured.
and it everything is in South Korean.
yes.
It knows everything, right? There's no
Right,
English
but it
translation or
doesn't
anything
speak
like
South
that.
Korean.
No. Okay, so I wasn't expecting to go down this rabbit hole today. I was expecting to talk about a weekend, but for
what we're
further
doing. We're talking
clarification,
about
then,
that.
in a lot of K-pop songs, they'll deliberately include English words so
Okay.
that
Okay.
people in English-speaking audiences can feel like, oh, I know that word, so it just makes them like attach that much harder to a given song or
Okay.
anything like that. There's usually like they know what they're doing. Like I said, it's very manufactured. It's extreme. I'm the worst person to be conveying this message to people. Like you can do your research on it, but it is fascinating how that whole industry like came about and evolved. And you know, there's some good parts and some not so good parts, but it's not that different from the American
So
pop
there's
industry.
so there's negatives to K-pop then.
Yes.
So what would be the negatives
Well, like
to this pop
unfair
culture music?
contracts and you know, basically like singers feeling like they're exploited. Like there's lots of
Dane,
stuff that,
you know a lot more about
You
K-pop
do.
than you were leading on to.
Well, like you said, you didn't want
But
to
this
get
is
involved.
not unlike.
Didn't want to talk
This is
about
not
it.
a conversation I expect. would
Dane,
happen.
I know, but
I'm
you
going
said,
off the top of the
but you
dome
were
here.
like, oh, I don't really know that much about K-pop. Dane, it sounds like you know an awful lot about K-pop.
But people could ask me about any subject, and I tend to have like more than just a surface reading on a lot of different
I
subjects.
don't know. I mean,
You do. I will agree with you.
I mean,
you do have a
this
surface
like
more than
you
a
know
surface.
quite a bit more about this
You do.
purple power than
You know
than-
that joke about how people are like everything I learned about whatever subject is here was against my will.
Yeah, this is one of those
It's
things.
one of those things where I picked up all the information and some of it may be accurate, some of it may not be, but I'm fairly confident that I at least understand from a business perspective there are ups and there are downs.
So you would say that the majority of the passion and all the information you learn is from, I mean, honestly, it's probably from Liz's passion for K-pop.
Oh yeah, no, she loves it.
She loves it. So
But at the
it's-
same
it's-
time, she's also like very realistic about it and understands like there are negatives.
So that's what I also want to know. In your household, just on a daily basis, right? People have background music playing.
How much
would we find K-pop playing in the background of Dane's house?
If Liz is playing it, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you don't
If she is like,
You don't acknowledge
oh, yeah,
it when
need,
it's
you need
playing,
a ride
or you
home or
do?
something like that, and you hop in her car, she's playing K-pop.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
There you go.
Hey,
There you
I
go.
feel like
Now
I'm
we know.
learning a lot about your household.
Yeah.
And I'm learning a lot more about Dane,
Yeah,
how much he knows about K-pop.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
tapping into it.
So anyways,
I swear.
continuing on.
Anyway,
So she went down, which
So
meant
she went down there, which meant-
you, Callie, and Sassy have the house to yourself.
that's right. It's me and the pets, and I'm looking, going, okay, there's some home projects I wanted to do,
Yeah.
little stuff here and there. Installed a digital key code deadbolt to my downstairs front
nice.
door so that I don't have to constantly wonder, do I have the right key? Something like that. This way, it's just a little easier. That's nice.
Thumbprint activated.
You know, it's got a little identifier thing on there, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, so that
So you
gives
have
me a
one
thing.
for the dogs and the humans.
That's right, on the same door, no less. But anyway,
Yeah.
that was one thing I did this weekend. Another thing I did is I was actually going to go out shooting with my buddy Chuck,
Nice,
and I
yeah.
have not been out shooting in a very long time. It's probably been, gosh, what is it like? 12 years.
Yeah.
10 or 12 years.
How's your
That's-
shoulder?
A very long time.
That is a long time to not hold a firearm.
Yeah.
But you know what?
But it's one of those
Some
things.
people might like that.
Well, and Chuck's been wanting me to go out and shoot with him for a very long time. It was just one of those cases where, like, our times lined up. It's like, all right, sweet. So we were going to go out and do that, but then it rained so much, he said the desert basically turned into a swamp, and it wasn't really going to be worth it to try and trudge out there and shoot stuff when the wind was picking up the sea. The whole thing kind of got,
Yeah.
So Chuck though,
Did he come over to your
Chuck
house though,
is-
and you guys just shoot into the mountain?
No, so
'Cause you
basically,
could have done that.
probably
Just come
not
sit in my
great in a
driveway and we'll just
residential
shoot right there.
area, but that's why you go out in the desert.
But Chuck is a gun collector.
He has many.
He has many, right?
Yeah.
And so, for you yourself, I know you weren't able to go out and do this, right? What style of, let's just say, shooting, right, are you most drawn to?
Or comfortable with?
Are you most comfortable with? Like, are you a trap shooter? Are you a target long range?
Oh, in
short
this
range,
case,
or like John Wick style? Like, wow.
Yeah. Do you
with,
use
with
it like
the
a fist?
frequency with which I use this stuff, obviously, I'm not going to be out there skeet shooting with any kind of accuracy or anything like that. I just want to go out in the desert and shoot a couch or a refrigerator or something like that. You know, that kind of thing. Just,
Yeah, the good stuff.
You know, just plinking away at it.
Dane,
You know, a little
I'd
bit of
like
fun.
to think that
Hands on
one
a fence,
of your
you know?
old used toilets is probably out there somewhere on the desert floor.
Probably with a few bullet holes in it.
So, have you ever
Shot.
thought about picking up an air
Porcelain's
gun, just getting a pellet gun,
I mean, yeah, that's an
and
option
being on
too.
your deck?
Well, I know you have a certain family member,
Right, but
who's
I know. I'm just
rather,
saying you can get
adept
it.
at this
Well,
sort
those
of
are
thing.
more expensive, but you
Yes.
can get just a standard, like BB gun.
Yeah.
Getting up on your deck, getting a chair and a table and maybe a bag, one of the like sandbags, setting up,
Yeah.
and then setting some cans up on your hillside. Mm-hmm. And you could be plinking
That's
just right
true.
there.
I could certainly do that.
You're allowed to do that.
Yeah, no, I'd be allowed to do that.
Yeah, you get a scope. Just maybe you put on some K-pop in your headphones.
Sure.
And just have a nice evening
Yeah.
relaxing out on
Just
the
get
patio.
amped up and just plinking away at the backyard. No,
Well,
that's
a lot of
not
people
a bad
like
idea.
to do that. They
The-
like
the
plinking in
reason
backyard.
why-
or set up some targets.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
certainly.
a
Yeah.
paper target.
The reason why I brought this up, the reason why I wanted to ask you about it in terms of shooting and whatnot, and is there a shooting that you're more drawn to?
Oh my God.
Just a very short story here. There was once this 13-year-old boy, right?
Okay.
Who went out to I don't know, some type of it was a range / like, pheasant hunting location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he signed up for a trap shooting contest around this time of year. Actually, it was like
Okay.
just a few days before Thanksgiving. Won the trap shooting contest, right? for that 13-year-old's age group, right? And
Okay.
brought home the biggest turkey that was even possible to bring home, as well as got a small award that was placed on his jacket via a metal pin.
Wow.
That 13-year-old boy was me. I won the
See
I
this
don't know if
guy.
that was
You're a
obvious.
13-year-old crack shot.
So, yes, my uncle gave me. So what happened, right? When I first started hunting as a small child, right? I did a lot of pheasant hunting. I did a lot of what do they call like those little chuck birds? I don't know, the chuckers, whatever they're called, right? But I did that a lot when I was a kid. My dad grew up doing that. But what he trained me on was a 16 gauge shotgun from like the 40s.
Yeah.
Or like the 50s.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. Dude, this thing was like ancient,
Yeah, it breaks
right?
your shoulders.
It was like, I'm talking like this is like late 90s, early 2000s.
It may be old, but if it's in good shape, it's not like the technology has changed that much.
Not that much, but he said, "Here, Anthony, this is my dad's 16 gauge shotgun. This is what you're going to learn
sure,
on. This
yeah.
is going to be your shotgun, right?" So I was shooting the 16 gauge, starting at like, I think age 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I started shooting this 16 gauge, and I got so good with this like archaic shotgun. I mean, this thing was just so freaking old. I'm telling you, it was probably more dangerous than me shooting it. My uncle had just bought a 20 gauge, right, over under shotgun, right. It's like one of the ones that break in half, pop out the two. Mm-hmm. Had just bought one. It was I can't remember what it was, a Benelli or something like that. And we went out
Very
to this
fancy gun if it's a
went to this pheasant shooting area,
Yeah.
right? And they were doing like a pre-Thanksgiving competition. You do the trap shooting competition. You win a turkey, and then you also get like 3 more hunts there on them, up to like 20 pheasants a day or something. I can't remember what the thing was.
Yeah.
But my dad's like, oh, we got to sign up Anthony. So I get into this competition, and they hand me my 16 gauge, and my uncle's like, no, give him the 20, right? He'll kill it. And my dad's like, well, he's never shot your 20. He doesn't know how it works. Trust me, give him the 20. I think I missed one. I missed one out of like, I don't know how many things of trap they threw up in the air. They spun on the ground or whatever it was. I missed one out of like, I don't know. I think it was like 18 or 20 shots or whatever it was, right? And so I ended up winning. And needless to say, it was a pretty
awesome,
momentous moment for me. But
nice.
Not trying to steal your thunder, Dane.
I was enjoying. I was
reminiscing.
I was reminiscing of.
It brought up a memory, and you
brought
wanted to
up
share
the shooting memory of when I was younger.
I once went shooting with a group of gentlemen.
Yeah.
And everybody brought their guns. I brought a fire pole, a cooler full of hot dogs.
Okay.
Some hot dog buns and some ketchup and mustard. And so I was the glizzy master for this.
Okay.
Were you really?
This daytime event. Me and a bunch of gentlemen. It's back when I had my Jeep. So we cruise out there, and as we get to the spot, one of our buddies who's an ex-Marine goes, this is where we're going to be going. This is where we're shooting. One of the old dudes literally has his little .22 rifle. He's already shooting out his window at just like whatever was out in the desert, because we did the same thing. Went out to the desert.
Yeah.
Went out in the backwoods of Cuna, out past Black's Creek. And there was like a shot up washing machine out there.
I was just saying,
he was already driving
that's
up
the place to do
with
it.
his gun out the window.
Oh my
He was
gosh.
like 70 years old. He's out there just shooting at this thing. And I'm like,
Blasting.
the rest of us are like getting out of the vehicles, putting on our coats because it's windy, and he's all just shooting with his. He's like, it's warm in here. Why am I? Yeah. It was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen was that he literally, as we were parking and pulling up, he was still driving, shooting. Like,
Oh my God.
I was like, I don't know if that's safe, bud.
Yeah, not so much.
It is funny to think though that is very much a like not just this time of year, but I would say just in general, like the seasonal gun shootings right around Thanksgiving and Christmas is a thing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I
It's
think
like
a lot of
it's a popular thing.
friends get together, or it gets cool out, and it's just something like, what could we go do? That
Yeah.
Go shoot
doesn't
stuff.
cost a lot at the time. So
Dude,
now it is. But
Now I don't even. What's a buck around? A buck
Well,
around
that's what I'm
for
saying,
like a pistol.
that's why pellet
There's certain
guns and
cases
the
where
new,
you just no.
and the new gas charged air rifles, like it's much cheaper to shoot those things. So that's why people are making that
Nerf
move.
guns. I mean,
Yeah.
anything would be cheaper than shooting the actual real thing. But I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
No.
You know, is what
So
it is.
yeah, the reason I brought it up is just because it was interesting to me, and it's definitely one of those things where it's like, okay, people may have like a certain particular opinion one way or the other on stuff, and be like, oh, this person definitely does that person definitely doesn't. It's like, no, like I got no problem with it and stuff. Obviously, don't want people using them improperly, obviously, but that's one of those things where it's been a long time, and he is my buddy Chuck. He's extremely knowledgeable, extremely safe, really knows his stuff. So he's definitely the person I would trust most to like go and do that with. But I don't have like anything really like that I could just go out and plink away with. But never say never. There's opportunities.
You never know. You could buy. They've got the tables now. They got shooting tables.
Yeah,
I'm kind
that
of
are
ready for
collapsible.
Dane. I'm ready for Dane to jump into a new hobby. So then maybe
I
this
know.
could be it.
Right? Well, his
Gun owner-
yard,
I'm trying to
gun owner
avoid
Dane.
things
but
I'm
your
spending
yard
money
is
on,
perfectly
so.
designed for this because you could even do it downstairs, set up in that by your shed, and you could shoot right into the mountainside.
Well, I was thinking on the
Like,
second story deck facing
that too.
back, you have
That's what I'm
that
saying.
whole
You have the whole
wall of dirt.
Yeah, that's what I'm
don't-
saying.
so
But you could take a bale of hay. You get a bale of hay.
I'm
carry it up
concerned
there.
about ricochets.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. You get a
Dane,
bale of
that's what
hay.
happens in movies.
But Dane, you get a bale of hay.
No, it does not.
With pellet guns, it doesn't do anything. But you could get a bale of hay. You could throw that up there.
Yeah.
You could tape some targets on there, and you could just sit up there, throw your headphones on,
Yeah.
and pretend you're, a sniper
Yeah.
Or
There you go.
like a ghillie suit or something
You
like
could get
that.
a ghillie suit too.
It's actually just a bunch of Express Cafe, like it's just a bunch
plastic
of
boxes,
the plastic
the
styrofoam
styrofoam
boxes.
So
boxes.
thank you for giving me my next segment.
Oh,
Because of course, Express
So-
Cafe was on the menu, but I did
Shooting
something
got
different
canceled,
this time.
so instead, what'd you do?
So I then went, oh, I guess my day is going to look a little different. So you know what? I'm hungry, and it's almost noon at this point. I'm like, done a few other things. I'm going to go get Express Cafe, but instead of doing the normal, go there, get the styrofoam, bring it home kind of thing, I went and I sat down at the bar.
Oh,
And that is
bellied up to
something
the
I have
bar.
not
You
done
ate
in a
there.
long time. So
at
that
the
was-
it's at the diner.
At the
yeah,
Express
no,
Cafe.
they have a breakfast bar at
Yeah.
the front, like not the tables, anything like that. It's a full bar at the
And
front.
this is
with
this is you on your own by yourself.
It's just me going there like I used to. I used to go
way.
there before road trips. I would always
Yeah.
go there either by myself or with my buddy or whoever was coming with me on the road
Well,
trip.
you got to
We'd go
get
sit at the
fueled
bar.
up.
Yeah.
As we all know.
That's
So-
the move.
Can't go on an
you
empty
went there
stomach.
old school. I mean, did you grab
Yeah.
did you grab a paper so you wouldn't get bored or what?
I got myself. Well, I was reading Reddit on my phone, but it was close enough.
Just didn't
But
know if you were gonna do like a word search or
But
something.
no, like what I love about that is there's
of
just this
coffee.
timeless atmosphere of sitting at a bar at the front of an old school diner. And of course everybody who was there was just like shocked. They're like, "Oh my god, he has like more than just an upper torso. He's not just the guy in the drive-thru. He actually came in." And like one person who had
All of
actually
them,
seen me
man,
come
it
in
was-
before was like, "I know it's weird, guys, just it's okay."
Yeah.
He's gonna come in. He's sitting down
Yeah.
at the bar,
Did he
so
take
he's
your
gonna have
picture?
his food here.
Did they take a picture of you?
They did not. They didn't want to make it
So,
weird, but they were all
okay.
very excited that I actually
Walk
came
me
in.
through this, and you sit down.
So I go and sit down,
You,
but-
you get a cup of coffee.
Of course.
Okay.
That frankly, like,
Yeah.
coffee at a diner is never really something to write home about, and this is no different.
Depends,
but
Dane.
I
Some of them,
love
some
it.
of them have that little bit
I
of that
love it
cigarette
exactly.
smoke.
Oh, no, I love coffee at a diner.
Some of them have that cigarette
Restaurant.
smoke.
My
taste.
point
favorite
is
It's good.
My
Yeah.
point is, it ain't gourmet, but it kicks you in the nostalgia button so hard. It's
Yeah.
perfect. I love it. So sitting down, got my coffee, served it up. Start looking at the menu, which I haven't done in a long time. So I was like, oh, okay, here's a few things that are
Physical
different.
menu, yeah.
But of course, when I sat down, there was only one other guy at the bar, probably in his late 60s, early 70s. And then while I was sitting there, a gal came in. And what I'm imagining, like, I didn't necessarily ask them, but what I'm imagining is that the guy is maybe widowed and she's maybe widowed. And maybe there's a Hallmark movie there at some point. I don't know. But they were chatting,
Yeah.
across the way kind of
Yeah.
thing. And she was one of those, like,
You were
nice-
the middleman.
yeah, but she was
Yeah.
just like interested, asking him a lot of questions. And what I love is they're all regulars, so like they all know each other. They're just like, "Oh, hey, Howard, how's it going?" kind of thing. Like insert random name here, but "Oh, just fine, Dorothy. What are you up to today?" "Oh, I just got to go to the bank and run a few checks and
errands. Yeah.
do some errands." And it's just it's that classic like. Older folks talking back and forth. It's just wholesome. So I enjoyed that. But of course, she was very fascinated when I ordered blueberry waffles and I mentioned the pecans. She's like, "You can get pecans in the waffle here? I've been coming here for like 7 years and I didn't know that." I go, "Oh yeah, I get them all the time," kind of thing. It was just like it was fun to educate people on the thing that they thought they knew.
Well, 'cause
and I
you're
was
an
able to
Express-
give them a
you're an
new
Express Cafe master.
perspective.
You were at Express
Yeah.
Cafe telling people what
Teaching
the
secrets.
possibilities of what they could order.
Yeah, secrets of the menu.
That's hilarious.
man.
But they were also by themselves. So you
also,
were
Express
by
Cafe
yourself.
enthusiasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're all sat down, and just anytime she'd ask me a question, I was more than happy to answer. I
Wow.
wouldn't act rude and like looking at my phone and like trying to ignore.
Ignore.
No, just it was a nice vibe, and I enjoyed it. It was a great way to spend like an early Saturday afternoon to then switch up and go do other stuff later. But it was just a nice experience.
So
and
what'd
you know what?
What'd you get? What'd you end up
compliment-
getting?
I knew because I was sitting down. I was like, all right. I gotta take it back to the beginning. What was the first thing I ever ordered here? Chicken fried steak.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I got it, and I looked up and said, "Oh my God, this was the best one of these I've had in years. Like literally,
the best one.
8
It's
or
like-
9
it's-
years.
You ate it there.
You
it
could,
was
and you could have.
so good.
So you could have died at that moment after finishing that meal, and you would have had no regrets.
Well, Dane, you haven't eaten there in years, so the chances are you got a fresh chicken fried steak.
Oh no, it was great, and
Yeah, you
I
didn't
made
have to
sure,
drive it 30 minutes back home.
right. But I made sure compliments to the chef, and
Oh, yeah, the chef.
made sure
Yeah.
they got because no, literally, like the folks who were sitting sitting at the front. We're talking as the guys are walking by. They're like, "Oh, are you working back in the kitchen now?" He's like, "Yeah, I do some like front service and times, but I was getting a little rusty, so I needed to get back in the kitchen and make sure I still got my skills." It goes a few days. It was a little rusty, but I got back into it, and it's all good now. I got it. So it was pretty cool.
What about the donut?
I just like that vibe.
The donut.
The donuts were cleaned out. I didn't have a chance to get one because the entire rack was empty, which is shocking because the Holt's a lot, but they went through all of them.
This was on Saturday.
This was on Saturday. So
nice.
I caught him right after like the morning rush.
Yeah.
But it was just a very nice experience. And I realize this
Idaho.
isn't the most exciting thing for some people, but there's a certain point where like
no, it's nice.
If you're
fun
in
you got
my
to go
shoes
do that.
and
It's
you
one of
spend
your
most of your time like do the thing and then go back home and do other stuff.
Yeah.
Just sitting in a place like you're familiar with, but like haven't really had a chance to reminisce or catch back up with what the experience is like inside the building and just letting yourself absorb the environment around you of just people having conversations and country kids working behind the counter. Yeah. It's a vibe. Country kids. Yeah, well, there's definitely some kids who drive lifted pickups and wear a lot of plaid and
No, it is a small town. That's a farm town.
It's
Meridian,
funny
Idaho.
though, but like in Meridian, for whatever reason, it felt more like New Plymouth when you get back there sometimes. So it's just funny. But I love it. I absolutely love it. So everybody there was super cool, and they were just excited to see me walk in. But
good deal.
Yes,
I like that.
I included a bigger tip than normal because I was just like, you know what, this is a special experience.
25%.
Thanks, guys. So there we go.
I like that.
It was more than that.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah,
Dane. God, I'm glad you got out there. You
very
in
happy.
person.
Good vibes. And then
I'm just stoked that you actually instead of because you could have easily just done the drive-through.
Yeah, but
you were
I didn't want to do that.
Cruise on in. Maybe I'm gonna sit down this time.
Yeah,
Were
so I
you
changed
wearing
it up.
pajamas? What'd you wear?
Oh no, I was dressed, respectfully.
Well, he was in his shooting gear.
Yeah. Well,
that's true.
That's right. I had a red flannel and jeans, so I was like, all right, do that. But no, it was great. I loved it. Really did.
Very good.
So apart from that, then I did really want to watch the F1 race. So I kept trying to figure out how I could watch it because F1 is like really
Hulu Plus.
They're really well, and I have regular Hulu, but I didn't
PM.
have the version that let me watch
yeah.
that thing. So I had to get the F1 app. Where I'm like,
Yeah,
it's like
see, I had
$9.
it. I was lucky enough to find that because I had bought Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN,
And I had just canceled my Disney Plus.
as a group package, like 3 years ago. I was grandfathered in, and so I still had ESPN Plus. So I was stoked. So I looked it up, and I was like, "Whoa, all right."
Yeah.
So anyway, so you watched it on the F1 app.
Yeah, so basically,
streamed it to the TV?
I spent an hour or two trying to figure out where I could find it that wasn't going to be some stupid expensive thing. They're like, "Oh, Fubo," and I'm like, "Okay, look up Fubo." Oh my God, that's like 120 bucks. No, I'm not doing that. So I looked around and I found the F1 app was only like $9, and I go, well, that's less than like a dinner. I'll just do that thing, and then that's fine. So. Got that. Everybody for the last week has been just like absolutely crap talking this whole race, and like the environment around it has been kind of a mess. And it was like, oh, it's going to be terrible. And like Max Verstappen is talking about how it's just a total, crap show, all that stuff. It's just like, ugh. And then the race actually happened. I have to say, like, I've watched, some races and stuff when it comes to that, but it was better, I think, than almost any F1 race I've seen in the last long while. And of course, I'm one of those latecomer kind of fans where I watch like Drive to Survive or something, and I get that kind of vibe. We're like, oh, okay. It kind of helps get you into the sport if you're not really into it. And I realize some purists will be like, oh, they totally dramatize everything. It's whatever.
No, but it brings
it's enough
people
to
in.
get you interested.
Yeah.
And then to actually sit down and watch a race. I've watched some other races, and they can be kind of boring. This one, though, constantly something was happening. Constantly. And like, I realize some people don't like the chaos. Oh, my favorite driver just spun off the track and crashed or whatever. It's like, that's going to happen when you're on a new course and it's cold out and the tires aren't really meant for that. Like, it was a whole just getting to know you kind of situation for the drivers with that course. But it was cool. It was really cool to watch, actually. So I was happy. I felt like I got my $10 worth. But anyway, enjoyed that. Thought it was a really good race. And then what did I do the next day? The next day, I did a few more home projects. I caulked up a tub.
Did you get some caulking?
Yeah, because unfortunately that upstairs tub, where I had the water incident thing, when they reinstalled the tub, the caulk was starting to separate a little from the back tile that they had set up, all the backsplash.
all the
So
old
basically,
caulk out?
I didn't scrape all the old caulk out. It was just cracking. It wasn't like fully torn apart. It was it was showing
bit.
a seam and it was starting to show a crinkly crack all the way around. There were a few spots that hadn't happened yet. But what I did was I basically just took some good bathroom, caulk and the stuff that can actually, it adheres, but it's elastomeric and it's mold resistant. That was really important too. So I laid it all down, and then I kind of spatulated it flat and laid it in through the area, and I got it all cleaned up, and then all the cracks were gone, and everything looked like a fresh, white, clean slate on there. So
nice.
I was pretty happy with it, because I haven't done that in a while either.
Yeah.
But no, turned out pretty good. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just like little house projects. It felt good to do this stuff, and it's not like Liz being there or not being there was going to change me doing these things. It just happened to work out this way, the way I did it, but I was happy with it.
You said some time alone just to kind of zen out and be like...
I was blasting music
stuff?
at like an annoying level in the house, but it was fun for me, and I was happy with it. And it's like, I'm not bugging anybody. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the neighbors down the street were a little bothered by the choice of your Queens of the Stone Age over and over again.
See, that's the fun part about living where I live. Your neighbors don't hear you. No, it's great. I love it. But anyway, that's what I was up to.
Nice.
So,
that sounds like a pretty nice,
lovely
relaxing weekend.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Pretty nice.
What about you?
Well, so my weekend was pretty chill as well. I had a car to detail, so I had some friends. The kid used to do paintless dent, or his dad did paintless dent repair. He used to do paint touch up on dealership cars, and they would work in my parking lot. Yeah, and I used to do this big account, so. That would handle all the repossessions, and then they would go for all the credit unions. Okay. And so we'd refurbish all these cars that would go to auction for the credit unions. So his dad would come pop all the dents. My buddy Kelly Scott would come and fix all the interiors, and then Braden would come through and do all the paint touch up on them. So he and his wife wanted to get their little Lexus detailed. They had a little NT400T.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's an SUV,
smaller crossover.
Smaller crossover. Really nice. Holy cow!
An NX, I think.
I think it's an NX. I can't remember which one it was, but
probably like an NX200T. Yeah, it's like the 2-liter.
It's a bigger one than the small. There was a smaller one, and then there's a bigger one, and that's the bigger one.
They recently added a couple models.
It's like right below the RX.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, really nice car actually. Like when I got into it, started cleaning it. Even Carly came out and saw it. She's like, holy cow, this is actually really kind of cool looking. But I was looking at it going, I could see us owning one of these. There's 4 seats, very comfortable seating. Back seat's nice. But it was all black interior.
Okay. So it's kind of like a cave in there then.
Yeah, not too bad though.
Okay.
So that was my project for Saturday, was to get that going. So they dropped that off Saturday morning. Friday night on the way home from work, I called Carly and I said, what do you want for dinner? And she's like, I don't know. They're excited because the kids are off for the week. Yeah. Her and the kids are off for the whole this week for Thanksgiving break. So we wanted to kind of kick off the Friday night, right? Like get the party started. So I go, what do you want to eat? She's like, I don't know. I'm good with whatever. So I go, pizza twists from Idaho Pizza Company. She goes, that sounds fine. Bring it down. Call Idaho Pizza on Broadway, right? It's on my way home. So I'm like 20 minutes to get to that end of town. Yeah. Usually a call-in pizza order is about 20 minutes. Give them a call. I said, hey, I want to do 12 pizza twists. And they go, okay, yeah, not a problem. Just so you know, our pickup time is 75 minutes. And I said, what? They go, yeah, we're kind of running behind. We're pretty much 70 to 75 minutes to pick up an order. That's a long time for a pickup order. So I go, never mind. So I call up Chicago Connection Pizza on 4th and Bannock, right downtown in the heart of Boise, in an old grocery store.
Nothing but cheese.
Right?
Yes,
it's inside an old grocery store, an old bungalow grocery. That's what it's called. It was a grocery store in the 20s and 30s in Boise. So I call Carly, tell her, hey, I'm gonna do Chicago Connection because this is crazy. Then, and as we're talking, I go, watch, I'll walk in. There's nobody there. Call them. They're like, yeah, come get your pizzas, 20 minutes. I said, perfect. I roll up, There are 3 customers at the salad bar in that restaurant. It is dead. Ooh. Absolutely dead.
That's good.
And it was surprising to me to go, how is Chicago Connection this dead?
But with that wait time.
No, they're 20 minutes.
Okay, now they're 20 minutes.
Their pizza's 20 minutes. But the inside, they have like 2 people working.
Okay.
Because they don't get any business at that location. Yet Idaho Pizza Company, who has okay pizza, is at a 70 minute delay to get pizzas out. Mike, they need to move down to Broadway. That's what they need to do. So anyway, picked up some large pizzas, came home. Kids, we all ate, enjoyed it. Saturday, the Lexus got dropped off. I spent the majority of Saturday getting the Lexus done as much as I could. And then Carly and the kids and I went to the mall, wandered around the mall, looked at some stuff, just needed to get out of the house because it had been raining all morning. And so we cruised over to the mall, checked some stuff out, and then I started bringing out all the Christmas gear, right, all our decorations and stuff. So got a lot of that stuff out and in our little foyer. And then Saturday night, Carly and I watched the race till about midnight. Man, I couldn't keep my eyes open.
The ending was so good, though.
So here's what I did. I kept falling asleep. I don't know if it was the noise.
Okay.
It just lulled me to sleep. Because I was watching the race. It wasn't that it wasn't exciting. It just, like, there was something causing me just to go to sleep.
I think it's the newer F1 cars have those V6 hybrids, and they have a lower RPM sound than
it was just a
past cars.
It was like a white noise, relaxing.
It kind of lulls you if you're just paying attention to that. My feed, the announcer was going totally ape, so there was like no sleeping past that guy. Oh my God, then this happened, then this happened. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
But the older cars, they scream. The V10 and V12 cars were insane back in the 90s.
And that's what I was expecting. But anyway, went to sleep. So Sunday morning, got up, hung out, chilled out with the family. We just laid in bed and watched TV till about noon. It was a great morning to just relax. And then went out there and started working on the car. Got the car done by about 3:30 or so, 4 o'clock. Had to polish the outside. Had some car wash scratches and some light water spotting on it. And so I had to clay some spots. Did just Uno Protect. But I switched it up this time.
Okay.
Wiped off the Uno Protect and then hit it with Defender.
Nice.
Try something a little different.
Yeah.
But car looked great. When I pulled it out, it was very black, very deep. There were still a lot of defects on it. The PPF was very badly scratched, so it was hard to really get that anywhere else out. But texted them. Carly took the kids, and they went to Costco and ran while I was finishing up the car. And literally, I finished, went and got me a soda and an ice cream sandwich. I was thinking about a Big Bopper.
Ooh.
It's a big chocolate chip cookie with ice cream and chocolate chip cookie. So that was my little treat at about 4 o'clock.
Jeez.
Went and got me a soda, got me one of those, got one for Carly as well. And then called her and said, hey, where are you guys? And she goes, we're on our way home right now. I said, perfect. So we got to the house, empty groceries, pulled the car out for the customers. They showed up, $100 tip as well. So very nice of them. They didn't need to do that.
Oh, sure.
But really, really nice to see them again. Thankful that they gave me that tip. And then they left, and then I cleaned up the garage a little bit, and then we started unpacking some of the Christmas gear, watched the little Rebels, and then went to bed. It was a pretty chill, easy night. However, I watched a movie Sunday night on Netflix called The Stranger.
You were telling me about it.
I was telling you about it. It's an Australian movie, and it's Joel Edgerton and another gentleman, and based on a true story. Holy cow. That is some suspenseful, tense,
really?
Kind of like Memento.
Ooh,
they drop you right in the middle of a movie, and they drop you right in the middle, and they don't give you
what's going on.
You just kind of follow along.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they tease you with like some things, and you're like, wait a minute, was that who I thought that was? And then they don't. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what are we going to talk? And they don't bring it up again for like another 10 or 15 minutes. They lead you along and you're like, wait, I'm kind of, and then they do it again. And then you're like, oh my gosh. And then they keep doing, it was very well done. So
Okay.
if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really good. But it's like a Australian kind of crime
Nice.
drama thriller, but really good.
I'll add that to the list.
Really good. And I liked just that, and then watching The Killer with Michael Fassbender earlier this week was just...
Like I kept telling people,
good combo.
I was like, you recommended that one. Of course, I really love Fincher's work, so I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And then watching it, I'm like, this is really good. I'm enjoying this. I can't recommend this to anybody else.
Well, I was watching it and literally said, like, Dane would love this movie.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the very few people you could tell it to.
No, I loved
go
it.
and watch it and actually
I think if
enjoy
you
it.
watch The Stranger, I think you will also appreciate that because of I enjoy being thrown into a movie where I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like that part. Some people really don't like.
Some people they can't enjoy a story unless they have all the information. And it's like part of the fun of a lot of like storytelling is that you don't give somebody.
But I think
all the information
Anthony, I think
right
you
up
would
front.
like. I think in the right setting, I think you would like The Stranger.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you would not
I know
enjoy
you're-
The Killer because that,
I know you're capable
that
of
movie
this because I think you'd
was
like where it's going.
slow.
But anyway, that was our weekend. Pretty chill. Excited for Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Then yesterday I got a 1970 Pontiac GTO Judge
Yeah.
in red.
Yeah.
Nice.
And drove that home. Got it home. Washed it.
Does it have that hood-mounted tack?
Yeah.
Yes.
Drove it home. It's a 4-speed Hearst
Nice.
shifter on it, and
Sick.
in good shape. Really, I mean, the car's beautiful. So working on that. I'm gonna bring it in tomorrow here to the studio. So we're gonna shoot some little things on it just to get some more.
Okay. Yeah, no, we can do that for sure.
Get some stuff
And
with it, but it's a beautiful car.
before passing it to Anthony, you just reminded me I did watch a little something this weekend, so I was going to throw it out there. It's like I had fun. I know G. Davis loves to make fun of me for the Kong versus Godzilla, not understanding that like you can enjoy a movie without considering it a good movie. It's like schlocky. Schlocky has its own place.
Okay.
Like if you like kind of a cheesy, fun monster movie kind of thing, Godzilla vs. Kong was a fun time. If you get tired of CGI, maybe not for
Start
you.
watching Monarch.
But what I was saying was, I went through the first 3 episodes of Monarch because that's all.
I only
they
got
had
through the
out there.
first episode.
I watched all 3. The episodes 2 and 3 I enjoy more than the first one.
Yeah.
So it improves.
I'm excited for that.
But I enjoyed the show because it's like a more grounded approach to the
Mm-hmm.
world they were building. And actually, anybody who watched like 2014's Godzilla, like that was actually like a pretty good movie for
I
what
agree.
it was. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson's acting is a little rough in places when he pretends to be American when he has a tougher accent. He did better in the movie Kick-Ass. But anyway, in that he was decent. But in this new show, it starts off with like John Goodman of all things. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, hi there.
No, I thought it was a great.
And
opening.
I was like, that's fun.
Yeah, we watched
But,
that as well.
The show itself, I actually find I'm really enjoying it. And what I did not expect to see was Anders from Workaholics is in it.
Yeah.
And some other folks too. I won't spoil everything, but no, very enjoyable show and a much more like grounded take
Mm-hmm.
on like that world. But I was gonna say, if anybody's looking to start something new and they haven't tried it, and you like monster movie kind of stuff, but like Toho, like classic like Godzilla monster movie stuff, that's fun. It's
No, I
actually
liked
fun
it.
world
I
building.
really liked it. I
And
watched it
liked
as
the
well.
environment. And then the other thing, I started the new season of For All Mankind because I absolutely love that show.
Nice.
Really
And
good
we're
one
trying that.
for space nerds and people who enjoy like alternate histories. It's a good time. I think you would really like it actually. Anyway, on to you.
Gosh, I'm trying to think of what all went down. So Friday night was pretty low key. I ended up watching a movie myself on thanks to my friends over at Peacock. It's oh my gosh, what's it called? Something of
Five
something.
Nights at Freddy's?
No, it's called something of Foggy Mountain. Right? It's like have you ever seen that movie Without a Paddle?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that kind of theme of movie. 3 guys, friends since they were kids, go on a treasure hunt, and there's just a bunch of random cameos in this movie, right? Not a good movie by any means. It is actually a really bad movie. But what's his name? why can't I think of his name? Something O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien is in the movie.
Yeah, it's the Do Not Destroy gang. Guys.
Do Not Destroy
from
the
SNL. It's there.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was gonna watch it the other night. Carly told me we should.
I saw the
not
trailer
watch
for that, and I was very curious, but my spidey senses tingled that it might be a bad movie when everybody in the comments was saying Conan was only in the movie for like a total of like 5 minutes or something.
No,
and they
he's
were
in for
using
longer
him
than
heavily in the trailer. So I kind of went, when trailers do that, that's usually a sign that all the good stuff's in the trailer and everything else is garbage.
So he was in there longer than that, but I mean,
Okay.
in general,
Because I love Conan.
oh man, not a great movie. It just like, it's not great. So I watched that. Kind of regretted it. Don't recommend it.
Well, now I know. I was gonna make that mistake and watch it. So
Okay.
It starts
Well,
I'm
like
glad
it
that
starts kind of
you
strong,
and my wife have turned me away from
but
it.
like halfway through, oh my god, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. And so, anyways, do what you want. But
You're like, yeah, just suffer if you want.
yeah. Then Saturday, I'm trying to think. Saturday was a pretty low key day. It was mostly just trying to get our house cleaned up the best we can. And my wife wanted to bring down all the Christmas stuff, and so went up into the attic, went up into the home of Grant Hawtrey and his family,
How are they
Grant
doing?
Hawtrey's family's home, and I didn't hear anything, I didn't
Doing
see
well, I
anything.
hope.
I'm assuming they've migrated to a different portion of the house.
Well, it's getting colder now.
It is getting colder. However, there is all the insulation above in my garage now to keep them somewhat warmer. But
Okay.
If it's too quiet, you should be
that's
worried.
went in there, grabbed all the Christmas stuff, brought everything down, and right now my house looks like World War II.
Yeah,
maybe
you-
not World
yeah.
War III, maybe.
Yeah, you were showing that
it's
video.
just-
It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy. There is stuff everywhere, and we have 2 new couches arriving this week.
Yeah.
We have the old couch stuff to figure out what to do with.
Still got to
That's
get them
gonna-
out.
I walk into my house every day.
What are you
from
doing
work.
with the old couch? Are you actually Craigslist?
Well, they're gonna clean them. They're gonna clean.
We're having
You're
it
gonna
cleaned,
clean
then
it.
we're gonna try to sell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I walk into my house, and I look and I go, "Oh wow, this is a lot." Right, and I don't know what's going on. It's not most of my stuff, right? It's my wife's thing, right? I can try to help, but also make things worse. So I just go, well, we're gonna just see how this plays out, right? So that's kind of what's been going on for the last few days. But Saturday was a day to try to bring more stuff down, reorganize things, get things going, and whatever. So after that, I was on dad duty for the rest of the day, and I was like, you know what? For dinner tonight, want to see what we can do. Maybe me and my daughter will splurge a little bit. Found a gift certificate for a place called Fujiyama.
Hey, Fujiyama,
it's a
they're
sushi
good.
place, right?
Yeah,
located
great place
in,
to take a 2-year-old.
Meridian,
They're like a
and also
steakhouse.
located in Boise by the mall. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, I think we're gonna get some sushi with this gift card. I'm gonna get my daughter some chicken
Katsu.
katsu, whatever it was, like I guess it was a noodle plate or whatever it was.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, you know what? This will be a good time. Did that. Went down there, got the stuff. Dude, I swear to God, man, like that was probably one of the best like sushi like feasts I've had in quite some time.
Yeah.
It was like a sushi sashimi platter. Brought everything home, and I was like in heaven, dude. It was I couldn't be disturbed, right? Like I was moaning and groaning, and there's a lot of sounds coming out of me that I don't know where they were coming from.
dear.
But my daughter was happy. She's got her noodles, right? And she's playing with those, and I'm eating my stuff, and it was just a really, it was a good night. So we did that, and then Sunday was actually, I had planned a car project. Basically, I was trying to swap over a steering wheel in my car, right? Not trying to. I did successfully. But I got this Japanese, or this, I should say, JDM Momo steering wheel, a Type R steering wheel from Japan, from an Integra Type R, right?
Did you overnight it?
No. I bought this like last year. But it's like
Wow,
it's
that's
like
some
it's
long
like,
shipping.
How long have you had it?
I've had it since like last year.
Oh, okay.
It was like right around the time
No,
I
it
got
took
the
a year
car.
to ship.
Yeah,
That's-
that's all I
I
was
just
worried
haven't
about.
I just haven't had time to do it. And I also wanted to wait till my car alignment was done before installing the new wheel for fear of the alignment tool scuffing up my new wheel.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It happens.
No,
Levi.
I know it does.
It
I'm
is
just
one.
saying,
It is one wrong turn,
Yeah, I got that.
and that alignment tool that holds your steering
Scuffs
wheel literally could cut that leather.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't want to risk it. So I waited till my most recent alignment has been done last week, and for this project, what it was is when you buy a steering wheel from Japan, right? they will ship you the airbag cover, which includes the airbag in it. They will include the wheel itself, but they do not include the detonator.
Oh.
Right? So the actual explosive device.
So you need to put that in.
Are they afraid it's going to go off in transit?
Yeah,
Well,
basically.
you just don't want to ship explosives,
Yeah.
right?
No.
So my plan is to remove my old steering wheel, take the detonator out of that, and then transfer it into my new airbag cover, right? And then put everything back together, right? Well, I don't know if you guys have ever like messed with a detonator before, but like it's not. How do I say this? It's not like when you look at it, you go, I know that can't go off without the electrical charge needed to set that thing off. But that didn't make me feel
This
any
was
less
you in the Hurt
anxious.
Locker, basically.
Well, I'm
lot of that.
Or the movie Neighbors.
You know, it was like me sitting there. I'm like smoking, looking at it, like
sweating.
how am I gonna do
it's the
this?
green wire,
Right? Like
the red wire.
Oh my god!
or
Like
the black
what-
wire.
Like, which one is it?
Yeah, it's blue.
So I disassembled everything, and then what I found is that my detonator, right, is held on by security nuts, right? And these
Locking
nuts are very interesting to remove because they're like a tri-nut, right? It's like shaped like a triangle, but there's nothing that will fit over it. So you have to grab pliers or like needle nose or whatever it is, and to start cranking on it. Dude, I gotten the first 3 off, or like loosened up, and I was like, oh my god, I can't. Like, it's one of those
working.
like jobs where you go, I can't believe it's working. Like,
Yeah.
I saw this online on a forum from like 16 years ago.
Yeah.
But there's been no updated
It's a
information
piece of knowledge
since
that was
then.
added to your brain that you still
So
retain.
So I'm like, I got to put this knowledge out to the world, right?
Right.
So I'm on that last nut, and I'm sitting there, and my thing is just rotating.
Yeah,
It just
stripping it.
Sounds horrible.
It is just grinding off the metal, and I am sweating because here's what happened. When I first started trying to remove the bolts off the detonator, right? Don't laugh at me. I had a motorcycle helmet on, I had a motorcycle jacket on, and I had gloves on.
Why? Were you cold?
He's
No,
trying to protect you.
Because
Well,
I
he was in the garage.
Because
Yeah.
I was like, what if, right? What
Yeah.
if this detonator goes off? Well, then it turns
Okay.
out I was so hot and I couldn't breathe because of my wheezing lungs. I'm like, I gotta lose the helmet, right?
The one thing protecting your face.
So I take the helmet off, and then trying to grip, but I'm like, God, these stupid gloves, man, I can't grip at all. The gloves come off, right? And I have my jacket on. I'm like, this thing is just bunching up as I'm trying to grab this. So I'm like, the jacket comes off. So before I know it, I am inches away from this detonator, wrenching on this. I'm Levi with all of
in
my
your
with
underwear at
all
this
of
point,
with
right?
all of my
You're
strength.
letting your inner
right?
Modesto out.
And I'm like, I'm wrenching on this detonator with all of my strength, and I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, I went from being cautious to being
To
like
not caring.
The complete
to
opposite.
literally not caring at all what happens to me as long as I got those nuts off.
Was your wife and daughter in the building? as
No,
well?
they were in the house. I told them not to come out there, and
Jeez.
so I end up getting everything
Sure, your
removed.
life insurance policy was up to date.
Make sure it's fresh.
I swapped the detonator over, and to my surprise, man, went in, plugged everything back into the car.
And it didn't go off.
Nope, nothing went off. The SRS light was not on. It was a successful install. I was
So
thrilled.
Wow.
I'll say this. I didn't look at your post close enough. It looked like you just changed from an
It literally looked like
Acura
you
badge
just swapped
to
the
a Honda
badge.
badge.
Oh yeah, no, it's
On the
absolutely
steering wheel. That's all it looked like. So I was like,
Really, that's all it looked
okay.
No, it
Took
was
her
a
steering wheel off
full.
for
It's
that?
the full exoskeleton. It's the cover, and it's all of the brackets for the wiring and all that.
Oh, man.
I also have eliminated my cruise control by doing this because JDM, right?
So you made it worse by making it
So where does the
better.
cruise
Yes.
control relocate to?
Doesn't, you just don't need it.
Okay.
As someone who didn't have cruise control in the Miata, I wanted cruise control more than I wanted
Dane.
air conditioning.
So
in that
I will
thing.
tell
cruise
you-
control is
No,
one of those things
no.
that I just.
Dane, do you want to know what
need to
separates the winners from losers? Cruise control, right? Winners do not need cruise control to be
Remember,
a comfortable and
I'm the one who had a
incompetent driver.
1964 Thunderbird.
I know, Dane. I think cruise control is what's ruining this world. Honestly,
Sure.
you got all these kids running around with cruise control right off the start, right? Getting into new cars. They're 15, 16 years old with cruise control, right? Sending their cars straight
need
into
to earn
buildings, right? They need to earn clicking that button, right? And in my day, it was a three-part system, right?
Yeah, right.
It was the cruise
On and
control
off.
button on over here, make sure the dash light was on, right?
Yep.
And then you had your toggle switches to set your cruise and set it on.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not really complaining about cruise control. He's just complaining about the level of cruise control you get in modern cars.
So can you relocate that? Because now you've damaged the resale value of the
Yeah,
vehicle.
no
Not at
kidding.
all.
If I was a
I mean,
future
amenity.
buyer, I would definitely think twice before buying this cruise control-less RSX.
I've
No,
made it
thank
a
you.
safer vehicle now,
Okay,
right?
well.
By eliminating the cruise control.
How can you re-add that button system
It's
back
it's
onto?
quite simple.
Nothing-
There's one mounting bracket I need to swap over, but here's the thing.
You
Then
don't
I
wanna
would
do
now be
that?
screwing into a perfectly pure plastic bezel. It's pure. Hasn't been touched, hasn't been screwed before, right? I'm not screwing that plastic bezel,
Okay.
right?
So, so he's made it safer
So
by
did you
eliminating
have
cruise
the
control,
option
but
to
putting
get
in
one
a
with cruise control?
hand-tightened nut on the detonator.
No, it's a JDM airbag. It's from an Integra Type R, high performance machine. They don't. Who is driving a JDM Type R in Japan, thinking, "Wow, I really wish I had cruise control"?
Pretty much most of them because they're smoking while they're doing this.
Yeah.
No,
They gotta have a cigarette
I don't know
and
about
a
that. No.
tall boy Sapporo. in there.
Anyway,
You're not a lesser person for enjoying cruise control. Cruise control
So I
is
will
one of
say
those
this.
deals that is just
I understand
a
where you're
lovely
coming-
thing to
Dane,
have on the
cruise
highway.
control is for the weak.
When you are
don't-
on a 6-hour drive and
Yeah.
you don't have cruise control,
Dane,
that is a miserable
You get
time.
good at articulating
No,
your
you get
foot.
freaking like Charlie horses in your leg because your ankle is at a funny
Dane-
angle,
Dane,
and you're just sitting
because
there
you
the
have
whole time going, "I really wish I had
No,
a button."
because
He's
you
never
need
going
it-
to take that on a road trip. That's a city car. That's a town car.
That's true.
I'm saying
I would
any
take that on a
in
road
any
trip.
vehicle
I'd go on
I
long
have,
drives.
right?
I know you would.
I would say cruise control is not a reliable tool to use for any occasion. It's so
So I will say this, Anthony. The other day I was working on the Suburban.
Yeah.
And I was
Also
trying to
that.
get my tow haul button working, and I found the wires, and they were broken.
yeah.
And that was the problem. So I just need to get them soldered back together. So I was like, oh, and I could see where they were pulling on each other. So I pulled them out of the little sleeve and set them off to the side. What I inadvertently did was arc it now, so that every time it touches the steering column, that cable, when I put it into drive, turns tow haul mode on,
Oh, okay.
which sets my torque converter and changes my shift points. And so I have to tap my
Yeah,
shifter
yeah,
handle
to-
instead of the button. I have to kind of tap it until it jiggles free to disconnect the
I
connection.
don't think I like
Have your
that.
CarPlay
So-
activate cruise control.
Yeah.
Just telling you, I understand. Like, I needed to solder those, and I just didn't
Anyway.
have the time, so I just put it all back together.
Yeah, no, I just
Now I have that
refused.
option.
I just refused to do. I didn't want to screw the panel. So, anyways, so I did that swap. Very successful. I was very happy about that. And then I'm trying to think. After that, there was a couple more things that went down. Let me see if I can pull up my pictures. Here.
Dane rolls his ankle without.
Dane rolls his ankle without cruise control. I've driven plenty of cars that didn't have cruise control, but I'll tell you, like, just as soon as you get on the highway, it's come on,
Dane
just
sets
do
the
that.
cruise.
If you're going to be driving for a while, I've been
Need it.
perfectly. I don't want to hear anybody who's like, "Oh, you're a wuss if you use cruise control." We've gone on
No,
long trips without cruise
Dane,
control
it's-
before, but it
it's-
doesn't change the fact that it is certainly a nicer time if you can just hit that switch.
No, it just there's something about being there's just something boss like about just not having cruise and just
No, I got
You
a
know,
different
let's go
word
for
for
it.
that, but
just owning the road. You know what I mean? It's called going raw, going natural. It's something nice. There's something nice about it.
okay,
So,
enjoy your Flintstones mobile.
Anyway, so that was pretty much it. No, a successful thing there. And then as far as other things, yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a low-key weekend. It was kind of partially rainy for half the day, did a little bit of garage organization, and ultimately broke down a ton of cardboard on the side of my house from just a lot of random things and made my daughter a little house out of that. She didn't know it was possible.
Oh.
And so I have now started making her cardboard houses. So now she just points at cardboard boxes and she goes, "Daddy, house?" And I go, "Do you want me to make you
Aw.
a house
Yeah.
with some windows?" Yeah, right. And so now I'm cutting things up. It's pretty
Nice.
fun.
That's fun.
So that pretty much wraps it up. So
Nice.
again, to end this and round this thing out, the Black Friday deal is happening right now at thrivecompany.com.
It sure is.
And it is going until next Monday evening. It's when it's going to shut off. We do have a couple more surprises throughout the week, but don't let that stop you from ordering now, as some of these things once they're gone, right?
Yeah,
Especially some of these
100%.
doorbusters. So
You get one shot, one opportunity.
Radcompany.com, 20% off almost everything. Amazing doorbusters, amazing deals, limited stickers, and a few more limited things to come. So that pretty much wraps that up. Oh my gosh, not yet, G. Dane, take us home.
All right, that was a fun one. I enjoyed that. That one was like a little chaotic, but it was the right amount of energy. So that was good. All right, guys, if you haven't already, please click that like button. Helps us out and helps you out by helping us out. Now, the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is, if you could, please set aside just a minute or two to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, on Spotify, wherever you're listening to this on. If it's not on YouTube, obviously. If it's on YouTube and you're watching right now, just go down in the comments and let us know what you thought of this episode, and maybe if you have a bone to pick about cruise control, yay or nay, or something like that. So let us know there. We definitely appreciate it. Otherwise, guys, we will see you tomorrow in a weird turn of events for Q&A Wednesday. We're kind of flipping it around because, Thursday's going to be an important, busy day, and we won't be around for that. So Q&A tomorrow. Normal time, though. Don't worry. Anyway, you guys have fun. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll catch up then. See ya.
See ya.